Halo, Assalamualaikum.
Halo Zel,
Iya, halo Kak.
kakak mau coba screen ini ya Zel, share screen.
Iya, silakan Kak.
Masih disable sih Zel.
Sekarang udah Kak.
Bentar. Oke. Thank you. Salah ya. Oh ya, bentar. Belum. Oke, bisa ya Zel.
Oke Kak.
Thank you.
Halo Kak halo Bu Riri.
Ya Zel.
Zeli coba audio kedengaran nggak di situ ya?
Benar.
Sebentar ya.
Oh. Suara kakak jelas Zel? Memcut di kampus dah.
Ya, baru sampai.
Oh, mantul.
Kocut sih.
Jelas suara Riri Kak?
Jelas, Ri.
Oke, siap.
Halo Bu Riri.
Ya Zel.
Kedengaran tadi audionya Kak?
Dengar. Enggak, suara musik tuh ya?
Iya, heeh.
Kurang ya Kak Cut?
Bagus, bagus Ri.
Dengar
Bagus
ya?
Sel.
Suara
Ini
musik
jelas.
jelas.
Mana coba lagi? Nah,
Dengar.
besarkan sedikit.
Suara musiknya kurang jelas emang.
Kurang Zeli. Besarkan sedikit.
Suara musiknya kurang jelas.
Punya kakak belum lagi ya Zel ya?
Halo, Ibu Kurnia.
Halo, Bu Cut.
Hello, Miss Kurnia. How are you?
Pretty well, Bu Cut. How are you, Bu Cut?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Okay.
Yeah, you look so nice today.
Oh, thank you so much.
Are we going to start?
Halo, Ibu Kurnia.
Miss Daly calls you.
Oh, okay. Yes, Miss Ellie,
Iya,
can you
boleh.
hear me?
Yes, that's okay. You are the leader.
All right.
Yes. You
we
decide
are
when to start.
all right. We are still waiting for Bu Aisyah, is it?
Yes.
And
Ya,
then
Aisyah belum gabung.
yeah. And she is the first speaker today.
Yes.
Okay. Maybe 5 more minutes, Bu Zeli.
Okay, Bu.
Okay. Okay. Bu Aisyah is with us right now. And we also have Bu Riri. Then Bu Rizky Amelia. Dr. Faurina. Hello, Bu Dokter.
Ya, Bu Kur.
All
I'm
right.
here.
That's you. Well, I think it is the time because we have 4 speakers today. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, let me remind you that we'll be starting this virtual event shortly. Okay, and also Bu Cut as our secretary is here as well. And we have some participants while waiting for others. I think we can start this virtual event right now. Okay, I cannot see Bu Riri. And Bu Rizky Amelia. Okay, fine. We have Mr. Akil Isa here. Okay.
Risa was our students, right? If I had a mistake. Is it
Yes,
right?
yes, ma'am. I'm your student.
Oh yeah, I still remember your name. You look so hot today.
Thank you, ma'am.
Oh, where are you?
Now I'm living in Pasir Pengarayan. I'm a teacher in SMPN Islam Technology Rambak.
Alhamdulillah. So great to hear that. Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Okay, Bu Kur.
Okay. Well, I think all of us are ready. Right. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hello. Welcome to this great virtual event, June 30, 2021. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alhamdulillah, first of all, thanks to Allah, the most gracious and the most merciful Lord in this universe. Therefore, we can attend this great virtual event, and also salawat for our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm super excited to have you here. And before we begin, let me remind you one thing, that now we are in a great virtual event talking about learners' learning style in online class. And this virtual event is one of lecturers' dedication program of Winsus Karyo. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you our speaker today. We have 5 extraordinary speaker. Number 1 is Dr. Nur Aisyah Zulkifli, MPD. Hello, Bu Aisyah.
Iya, Assalamualaikum Ma'am Kurnia.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullah. How are you, Bu Aisyah?
Alhamdulillah.
Okay. It seems you are very great today, Bu Aisyah.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, and the second speaker will be Dr. Faurina Anastasia M. Home. Assalamualaikum,
Waalaikumsalam.
Dr. Faurina.
Iya,
You look good today. How are you? Pretty well.
I'm fine too.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. Okay, and then the third speaker will be Rizky Amelia MPD. Hello, Bu Rizky.
Hello, Ma'am Kurnia.
Okay, so impressive. How are you today, Bu Rizky?
Alhamdulillah, fine.
Alhamdulillah. Okay, thanks God. And finally, the last speaker will be Riri Fauzana MSC. Okay, hello, Bu Riri.
Hello, Ma'am Kurnia. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullah. So beautiful today. Very fresh, Bu Riri.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, I think you are ready to perform today, right? Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, since we have 4 speakers today, and let we start our virtual event by saying Basmalah, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. We start from the first speaker. Let me introduce you about her. She is Dr. Nur Aisyah Zulkifli, MPD, and then she is a graduate student of Winsus Karyo for bachelor degree, and she is a graduate student of Padang State University, Universitas Negeri Padang, for master program, and now she is fresh doctoral program graduate. Congratulations on your graduation, Bu Aisyah.
Thank you, Ma'am Kurnia, Ma'am Cuk.
Okay. Well, she is married with 1 daughter, and she will share with us about learning style through ICT. I think it is dealing with her research on doctoral program. Is it correct, Bu Aisyah?
Yes.
I think so. Okay, please, Bu Aisyah, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Ma'am Kurnia. I will share the screen for you. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Bu
Yes,
Aisyah.
nice to see you. Okay, thank you very much for you have joined with our presentation today in our program Pengabdian Masyarakat. The lecturers of State Islamic University Sultan Syarif Qasim Riau, with some lecturers from English departments. Okay. First of all, let's thank to Allah that have given us mercy and blessing, and salawat and salam that we sent to our Prophet Nabi Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam by reciting Allahumma sholli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad. Okay, for not was the time that I present my material today under the title Education Technology to Meet the Needs of the Learning Style of Student. It's appropriate with our topic today. Actually, we need technology in every classroom and in every student and teacher hand. It's appropriate with the education technology pioneer sets from the David Worlitz. Okay, actually for the technology has become an integral part of teaching and instructing students, and it's allow them to develop critical thinking skills and learn new concepts and creativity express the student own idea. Okay, actually related to the topic today, the education technology are enables to accommodate the three mains of learning style. They are visual learning, auditory learning, and teachers tactical or kinesthetic learning. Okay, so what is we discussed today? The first one we discussed about what is the educational technologies and what kinds of learning style that supported education supported learning style. What kinds of learning style is it? And the third one we discussed about educational tools to meet the need of learning style of student. And the last one we discussed about the rules of educational tools to meet learning style. Okay, we start from the first discussion So what is the educational technology, or we familiar with the term of technology? You describe of teaching related to the software and hardware that's increasingly being used in college and the university classroom. How about the other school, ma'am? So actually, the educational technology can be used by the school level. It means that both the teacher and student integrated with the use of the technology. And then the education technology refers to the technology that usually helps facilitate collaborative in an active learning environment. That I said to you before, that if a teacher integrated the technology in teaching and learning process, though, so in this term we discuss about the educational technology. So what is the advantage of the educational technology? The first one is to improve the learning environment, to boost student outcome, and to increase the student engagement and participation in a class. So what is a teacher and educational technology integrated? So what a teacher do, what a teacher need, what should the teacher able to do with a technology, education technology? The first one is can create a digital right now. So when the young teacher or the teacher's technology, so technology, the teacher can create a digital to whole community, and this is the benefit of the educational technology that we see for today in the pandemic situation. We can get the beneficial, we can get the homework, because city we can do the gamification. So what is the gamification? Or can integrated lessons, integrated a subject with a software that use games or like a gaming activity. And the last one, when the teacher use a technology in teaching learning process, so it means that we get a real time. This is what the advantages of technology and what the teacher do from the educational technology. Then we come to our topic, learning style. So what is actually a learning style? The learning style is a characteristic cognitive, affective, psychological behavior that serve as a relative stable indicator of how learner perceive, integrate with the response to the learning environment. And what is Honey said that learning style is description of attitude, behavior, and determine our preferred way of learning. That is what the expert said, and also said that the learning style itself is concentration of each learner in learning process, and intention or the way of remembering new or difficult information. So to get the information, actually some of the students use their learning style. So what is the learning style itself, or what kind of learning style the student can use? The first one, if we use a technology, the learning style, it can be from the type of learning style is a visual learning style. So what is visual learning style? Visual learning style is visual learner really on their sense of sight or bars able to learn when they can see or visualize what they are being taught. And visual learning student learns best by reading direction or seeing a demonstration. They often need to see concept and fake through picture, diagram, and chart. So what is the characteristic of the characteristic of the visual learners. The first ones, actually for the student, they not really talkative. They more enjoy reading and prefer to read a book in print as opposite to listening to the audio. Person a reader person and may benefit from using e-readers or download ebook. This is like a situation that we do right now. And then what is the characteristic of the student for the visual learning? The next one is not taker in a class. So actually there is some student that we can see and beside you maybe or your friend use a note take writing or note the activity or what the teacher said about the lesson. This we call that visual learning. Or they can remember chart and diagram well. So what should the teacher do for the visual learning style? The teacher can write. This is the teacher. What the teacher does is suggestion for the suggestion for the teacher for this useful student visual learning style. The first one is teacher can write out the direction. So write out the direction, and then demonstrate talk physically. You demonstrate as a teacher, and then use educational videos about a variety of subjects. Use a video, and from the video they can see, and then create a PowerPoint that's related to the what technology that we can use for visual learning style student. We can create a PowerPoint that outline key point and include picture or diagram. The last one, what the teacher do, suggestion for the teachers. The teacher can provide note or written summary of the lesson at the end of classroom or presentation. So this is a suggestion for the teacher related to the visual learning student. And the second one is what technology means that we can use for the visual or educational tools for the visual learner. The first one, we can use the technology MindMapper. This is mind mapping tool is great for people or for students who wants to be able to visualize what they are learning. MindMapper allow users to create, share, and managing mind map online and offline. And the second one, we can use Bubble.us. This is Bubble.us is a flash-based brainstorming tool that allow students to chart out story idea and homework. The image that can be created through this free web application will help visual learner learn productively and efficiently. And the example of educational tools, the next example is My Learning Tube. It's like a YouTube. My Learning Tube is a free website that hosts educational video for teachers, students, and educator. Videos tackle a broad range of subjects. Another one is like Carto is a unique search engine suited to the visual learner. However, the Carto display visual image of search result. So this is only some of example of educational tool that can be used by the teacher for the visual learner. And the second one is auditory learning style. So what is the characteristic of student auditory? They are talkative, and then prefer oral direction than written, and being directed easily by background noise. And the last one, read more slowly than other students and may find it difficult to follow instruction when they are written out. This is the auditory student. So what is the suggestion for the teacher? The suggestion, the teacher can give a clear verbal instruction and give a task that makes students discuss each other. So ask questions that make students respond verbally. Use audio tool to support delivery of information and provide summary of lesson at the end class or presentation. Miss, and then what technology that we can use, the teacher use for the auditory student? This is the example for the educational tool that can be used by the teacher. The first one, the teacher can use project playlist. What is project playlist, miss? Project playlist, this social music experiment. Make it easy for auditory learners to access free music to play in the background while they're learning, because we have some of us maybe the site features of endless number of songs to choose from several playlists. We need a music background to give new idea for us. And then the second one is WavePad. So WavePad is a free sound editing software for Windows or Mac. Allow students to record and edit audio within minutes. The functions are things to use and work with multiple formats. And as an example, read it please. This is award-winning text-to-speech software that can be read web page, translate, copies, and paste text to speech, and perform others helpful tasks. Read it please is not free, but it's reasonable price. Okay, this is they can use for the teacher and for student. And then the last one, we have free audio books. Audiobooks can help auditory learner enjoy book and get through their assignment reading. You can get list of 25 pieces to find free audiobooks right here on our site. This is some example of educational tool that can use for the auditory learner. So what is the next one? The next one is tactile or kinesthetic learning. Or tactile learning is kinesthetic learning as a learning style that suggests that a student learns through touching, feeling, moving. This learning style emphasizes that learning for one and most people in done by doing. We know that done by doing is called that tactic or kinesthetic learning. So how is the characteristic of the kinesthetic learning or kinesthetic student? They enjoy excitement that require the use of their hand. And then they're very fidgety and have difficulty sitting at the desk for a long period. We can see the situation on the elementary school student. And then what the teacher do for this one? The suggestion for the teacher, use the interactive whiteboard and PowerPoint presentation to engage the student. And then give the operator to break and move regularly and involve in hand-on activity. If it is possible, teach outdoor. So what technology, ma'am, that we can use for the tactic or kinesthetic student? The first one, we can use Google SketchUp. This is free drawing software from Google that allow kinesthetic students to create, modify, and share 3D model. This is like a design application. And for this one, they can use their hand, they can focus from the discussion, learning by doing. And then the second one is Classmaker. For the kinesthetic learner, can create free online quiz with time limit to list their knowledge of any subject. So right now, we can use the Quiz application. And the next one is Flashcard Exchange. The Flashcard Exchange is the world's largest flashcard library. This is kinesthetic learner can improve their retention ability by making flashcard for this website. This is the activity that you can use for the kinesthetic learner. And the next one is MyNote IT. This is a taking note. Taking note is a great way for kinesthetic learners to actively participate in what they are learning. So actually, MyNote It is a free web application that allows users to take, edit, and share notes online. And the last one, the example from the education technology is the Spark Notes. Kinesthetic learners that can get involved in assigned reading projects when they visit partners online. They sign over free study guide, quiz, and others interactive. It is only some of the example of the educational technology that you can use by the teacher. The others technology we can find from the internet. It can be free, and The last one, I discussed about what is the rules of educational technology to meet the need of learning style that you can see. The first one is to construct student interest in learning, because the benefit of the technology, we can reflect more construct interest in learning and reflect more authentic context that describe the use of language in a real life, and magnitude of influence of motivation on student learning and achievement. And the last one is successful implementation of technology-based pedagogy in the classroom. We should remind that technology only as tools to support teaching and learning process, and technically not the first one. Pedagogy is the first one. Thank you very much for your attention. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
Waalaikumsalam
wabarakatuh.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, it's so impressive, Bu Aisyah. Thank you so much for your presentation today. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think Bu Aisyah topics may bring up a number of questions from you, but we are going to give you chance, okay, to give question, or maybe you can chat. Okay, you may type your question in our chat room, okay. And finally, after the last speaker, we are going to answer the whole question. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, now let we come to the second speaker. Let me introduce you. She is Dr. Faurina Anastasia M. Hum, and she's a graduate student of Jakarta State University for bachelor, master, and doctoral program. And there is something interesting about her. She has great experiences in translating bilingual books for senior high school, and also implicit information translation of novels. It's very great experience, I think. And today she will present about visual and audio learning style. Okay, Bu Faurina, are you ready?
Ya, inshallah.
Okay, time is yours. Please, Bu Faurina.
Ya, thank you, Bu Kur. Oke, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Yeah, let me try to share my screen first. Thanks for the change, moderator. And then I'm going to present my topic today with the title EFL Students Learning Style in Online Class. The expected outcomes of this presentation, I hope that we will know about kinds of EFL students learning style, and then to know the EFL student strategies in learning certain subjects based on their learning style in this online class. It is the background of this study. Learning is a process of individual behavior changing through interaction to the all situation around the individual environment. And then in learning activities, students do many activities to achieve their learning objectives. And then in learning English, some students perform different from the other in their learning process, which decide their English learning outcomes. It is the process of learning. And then why we should do this online learning? Because yeah, based on this pandemic situation, and then based on the Minister of Education and Culture of the Republic of Indonesia decision later, and then we will do this kind of online learning until unlimited time. So based on Khan on 2017, he stated that he found that in online learning arise some problems that require patience, skills, and experience in handling and overcoming. It is especially for the teacher and for the students. And then the students' learning style becomes the key of the success in joining this online learning based on Adnan 2020. It may affect students' achievement in every level of education. So it means learning style is the key of this online learning. And then, yeah, by knowing the students' learning style, they would get the best way of learning according to their learning style preferences. Yeah, what is learning style? Based on John, he stated that learning style as the way in which each person absorbs and retains information and or skills, regardless of how that process is described. It is dramatically different for each person. And then learning styles are overall patterns that provide direction to learning and teaching. Learning style can also be described as a set of factors, behaviors, and attitudes that facilitate learning for an individual in a given situation. So from those, all learning style is such as an approach or way of learning for students to achieve their study, even it is in the different from the other person. And then I got a source from an article. It is stated that when we learn, information takes one path into our brain when we use our eyes, another when we use our ears, and yet a third when we use our hands. By using more than one sense, we bombard our brain with the new information in multiple ways. As a result, we learn better. It means when we use our eyes, actually we use our ear or our ears, and then we will do it by using our hands. And when we do those three components or three senses, it means we will get a better achievement or a better result. According to Riff, he said that in learning process, students will retain 10% of what they read, 20% of what they hear, 30% of what they see, 50% of what they see and hear, and then 70% of what they say, and then 90% of what they say and do. So you can see that how many percentage when you use one sense only, and combination of one sense and the other sense, how much it will retain on the students itself. And then, why do you have to know your learning style? Because now, yeah, actually, a student or a learner cannot identify what kind of learning style that she has or he has. The first, if you know your learning style, you will be able to diagnose the need of learning process, and then the teacher will be able to consider as the foundation for better interaction. And then it is possible to build strategies for accommodating learning styles. And then it will allow to prepare student involvement in learning process. And the last, it will allow the students to group as per their learning preferences. It is based on Code 1984. So if you already know what kind of learning style that you have, it will make you easy to identify and to follow the subject actually. I took this Fleming learning style. He promoted VRAK learning style in 1995. The first, namely visual. To make it simply, it is learning by seeing. So students who like to see, who interested in chart, graphs, and then like to see lesson outlines, like to see pictures, and then interested in PowerPoints. In learning, you are classified into a visual learner. And then the second learning style, it is named auditory or learning by hearing. The students like to read aloud, like to listen to the teacher direction, like to follow the verbal instruction, like to do discussion rather than study by themselves and then repeat to a friend. And then the third style, namely read or write learning style. Absolutely, if you are like learning by reading or writing, like to read a book, like to read a text, and then like to find out any kind of words on dictionary and then not taking, you are classified in this third learning style. And then the last learning style, namely kinesthetic, learning by doing. It is classified as a learner who like to do body movement, tactile touch, feel, and then hands-on activity. So from those four learning styles, I think you can identify which one is the preference learning style you are. And then a learner or a student has a learning strategy. Learning strategy is the tasks and or actions that students use to complete a learning task. So it is the way, and then it is used for problem solving during language learning. And then the students or the learner using this learning strategy to improve their language learning. So each of you has your own learning strategy to comprehend the subject. I took it from some articles and then I make some conclusion of it. There are some strategies for the students in learning certain subjects. So what kind of subject is it, ma'am? That's up to you. Based on the learning style, based on your learning style in online class. The first, if you are a visual learner, the strategies that you can do, the first, create your own designs and diagrams for data or numerical subject. And then minimize visual distraction during class. And then take engaging notes. So in the process of online learning, you may do this kind of strategies. How about the auditory learner? You may use headphones for online class because you are the hearing learner, and then listen the lecture with the screen turned off if the lecturer allow you to do that, and then read material out loud. And then for the reading or writing learner, you may take notes during online sessions, so you cannot pay attention to the lecturer on a screen. So you may take notes if it is possible. And then check for transcripts of lectures, and then set aside time to rewrite and reread material. So you cannot take the content of the subjects on that time. So you must have any time to rewrite or reread your material at any time. And then the last, for the kinesthetic learner, absolutely, you may listen to lecture while walking. You may turn off your camera or your laptop, and then you may go around and then learn through creative movements and activities, and then use a computer to type the material. Whatever you want to do, you have to move your body. You may go anywhere. You may do unstuck activities. And then from those strategies, we can get the conclusion. Appropriate learning style. So learning style is basically one's approaches or ways of learning. So every individual has his own preferred way of learning compared to others. So if you already know what kind of your learning style, so the teacher will find the appropriate teaching strategy too. The teachers actually also have to understand various styles of learning, so that they will be able to use teaching strategy that applicable for the students. And then the last, of course, the students will get achievements or get the best result of your study. So it is my explanation for my topic today. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much, Bu Dr. Faurina. It's very interesting topic about EFL students' learning style in online class. Since now we are in a pandemic era, okay? So it is very useful, especially for those who are joining our virtual event today. And I do believe, ladies and gentlemen, you have some question dealing with Bu Faurina's presentation. And I please you to type your question in our room chat, okay? Or you can ask to her directly after our last speaker. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, now we come to the third speaker. Let me introduce her to you. She is Rizky Amelia MPD. She is a graduate student of University of Riau for bachelor degree. And she's a graduate student of Padang State University. And now she is one of our English education lecturers in Winsuska Riau. And also she has several journal publications, and some of them are research on non-English department student. And I think it is very appropriate for her to present her topic today for us. The title is The Importance of Learning Style. Hello, Bu Rizky. Are you ready for presentation?
Ready,
Yes.
Kurnia?
Okay, Bu Rizky, time is yours.
Oke, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala asrofil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi rasulillahi ajma'in amma ba'du. First of all, let we say thanks to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala because of His mercy and blessing we can be here. And then salawat and salam let we send to our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam by saying Allahumma sholli ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala ali Sayyidina Muhammad. Okay, for today's topic, we will talk about the importance of learning. Oh yeah, Ma'am Kunya, can you help me to share the PowerPoint? The topic today it is about the importance of learning style in EFL classroom. So in this part, we will discuss about the first thing. It is about defining learning types, and then the second one it is about the type of learning style, and the third we will talk about the benefit of learning style, and then the fourth we will discuss about the impact of learning style on education. Okay, can you help me, Ma'am Kurnia, to share the PowerPoint? So there is a big questions for us that must be answered. Why are learning style important? So when we think about learning style, of course, we have to these big questions. Why it should be important? Now, you know that everybody have their own way to get or the information or the way to learn something. Now, when the students want to learn something or when they want to get the information, not only from the teacher, but also from their environment, they need the modalities to get this information. So what are the modalities that we need to convey the information? So the information that we can get from visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. So all the explanation from the teacher, all of the explanation from the video that you see on YouTube or that you listen from the radio or from the audio tape, it all about the modalities. Modalities, it is the tools that you get the information. So everybody have three modalities from visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. So which of the modalities that you prefer to get something or the information that you get? Nah, so it can be classified into the let me see the definition first from learning styles. Nah, at the beginning of the PowerPoint, we have discussed about the way to learn. So many authors define the definition of learning styles. It is for example, here we got the definition from McCracher. Next, Ma'am Kurnia, next slide about the definition of the terms. Yeah, so McCracher said that learning style are the characteristic of cognitive, affective, social, and psychological behaviors on how students understand the information or interact with others and respond to the situation in the learning process. And then here, we also see another definition from Murcia said that learning style as the general approaches. So we need the approaches in acquire a new language and also learning any other subject. And then another definition from Saccarella also said that learning styles are cognitive and instructional patterns which affect the way in which students perceive, remembers, and thinks. So it is not only talking about cognitive, but also it is refers to the social aspect and also affective aspect here, based on Saccarella. And then Oxford Divine learning style include in the array of cognitive, affective, and social aspect. And the next one, it is from Keefe. Keefe said that learning style and cognitive, affective, and psychological traits that are relatively stable indicators. Okay, now in simple words, here every students have their own their own way to learn some things. So it is important for not only for the teacher but also for the students to know what kinds of learning style that they have. In order, it can make them easy to get any information, to learn new things, to learn new subject, or to learn new language about that. Okay. Now, the first and the second presenter have discussed about the type of learning style. We know that most of the experts agree that the type of learning style, there are three types. What we call VAK. Jadi VAK, it is the abbreviation for visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. Now, the first presenter and the second presenters have explained about visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. Next slide, please. Now here, I just want to add more type of learning style dealing with Reid's learning style models. So the first we have visual learning. It is primarily concerned with visually. We see from our eyes. And then the second one, it is about auditory learners. They tend to use their ears to get new information. They tend to hear from the television, maybe, or listen from the radio, or listen to the music, and listen to any information with by using their ears. Now, according to Rex, the third one, it is about learning by experience. Okay. So sorry. There is an airplane. Now the third one, it is about kinesthetic, learn by experience. The third one, we call this one learn by experience. Okay, next. And then the fourth one, Reid also have another types. The fourth one, it is we call tactile. Next, please. Tactile. Now, in this part, this is the combination. This is the combination about visual, auditory, and also the kinesthetic. So in tactile, the students or the learner tend, after they hear or they see from the television, or when they hear about the information, they tend to write it on. So here's for tactile learners. Next, please, Ma'am Kurnia, about tactile learners. They learn through the sense. Tactile, the next one. Yeah, they learn through the sense of touch, and then learning primarily by hands-on task. So it means that after they hear the information, they tend to get the point by read it on, by taking the note, and then sometimes they tend to, when they read some things, they tend to underline the words on the book, on the newspaper, or on the magazine that they read. So this is the combination from visual, auditory, and also kinesthetic. Now, the next one, according to rates, the learning style model, it is group learning style. Now, group learning style, it means the type of these learners tend to have a discussion, any discussion, if they want to know something, if they want to get the information, they tend to discuss in a group. They like to ask another people to share the information to them, and then after that, they tend to work with others. So in my era, uh, we know that the words kelompok belajar ya. Kalau dulu kalau nggak salah mem ada itu namanya kelompok belajar. So here kelompok belajar di sini it means that the students want to give or to discuss the information or the lesson that they got from the school with their partner. It makes them more understand and then more get the information by discussing with others. Okay, and then the next one, the last one, according to rates, the learning style model, it is individual learning styles. Now, in individual learning style, the next, please. You can see the picture here. For individual learning styles, in here, the learners more effectively through working alone. So when you see your students, they tend to busy by themselves. Kadang-kadang kita kan sering melihat tuh ada students kita yang busy by themselves. Mereka sibuk sendiri. Nah, they tend to use their individual learning style. They learn more effectively through working alone. So they can get any information by themselves, by discovery learning. They try to find it out from many kinds of sources, for example, by reading it or by watching from the television or watching from the video or listen to another information about that. They tend to learn by themselves or working alone. Okay, and then we move on to the third topic. To the topic, it is about the benefit of learning style for the teachers. Next, please. Now, what are the benefits of learning style for the teacher? So if the teacher know that their students are unique, their students are different each other, if they know more about their students, so the teacher can make the teaching and learning process more enjoyable. Next, please. Now here, if the teacher know about their students, they can make the teaching and learning process next be more enjoyable. So the teacher can find any kind of technique, any kind of method, any kind of approaches that are suitable for their students. For example, if in the classroom that the teacher find that most of the students are visual learners, so they can use the method or the technique that is refers to the visual learner students. Or if the teacher find out that in the classroom the students tend to use tactile learning style, they can use the combination of reading and writing materials. So the students can feel more enjoyable when they learn about some things. And then the next one, the next benefit for the teachers, it also expands teachers' professional skills. As a teachers, we cannot apply just one method. We just use, for example, traditional method by explain something in the classroom, atau in other words, we know the term about it is about ceramah ya. Nah, jadi by knowing the learning style of the students, teacher can expand their professional skills. They can use different material, different technique. By knowing about that, it can improve the way how they teach. They can use PowerPoint, for example, if their students are visual learners, because visual learners tend to use their eyes to get the information. By showing or by using PowerPoint, so the teacher can interact their students' motivation in learning. This is the benefit for the teacher. And then who are the person get the benefit from knowing the learning style? Of course, the next one, it is the students itself. So learning styles not only benefits for the teacher, but also for the students. Next. Now, how about for the students? Learning style can encourage students to reflect on their previous ways of learning. For example, if you are visual learners, you tend to see some things or get information by seeing. So it is better for you to use or to see something that make you interested, for example, like that. And then the second one, the students more ownership and control over their own learning. Next, please. Now here, the student can control their own learning. They know that they have this. They know that about their ability. They know about their skills. So they can control. Oh yeah, I like to write something. I like to get the information by seeing from the internet or by reading or by writing it. So I can control myself to get some things or to do the to do or to get something. So they more ownership and control over their learnings. And then the next ones, the next one, it is the students are able to build their confidence that can strengthen their willingness to become risk takers. Now, by knowing the learning styles, they can build up their confidence to do the task, their confidence to have the good presentation, their confidence to make a good paper, their confidence to take a final exam, and etc. And then learning style also the reminder that all students are different. So you should know that all of you are different and that all of you not the same. So you have your own ability, you have your own knowledge, you have your own skills. So this is what we call as reminder. We know that we are different. And then the next one, it is also by knowing our learning style, it can reduce the stress and frustration of learning experience expand. Now it means when the teacher get in this online learning, there are so many tasks that teacher and also that lecturer give to the students. So by knowing their learning style, students can reduce their stress and frustration of learning experience. Oh yeah, I like this. I like learning by hearing by using auditory. I like learning by using visual. I like learning by using my individual learning style. So it can reduce the stress and frustration of the students. Okay, and then the next one, it is also enables you to success in your schools, college, and university. So for the students, you can get your successful by knowing yourself, and then you can improve in which part it is your weaknesses, and then you can strengthen your ability. Okay, and then by knowing your learning style, it also improve your self-image. Do you know self-image? Do you know about yourself? You know the image of yourself. You know your behavior, your characteristic of yourself, because from learning style you can learn that you or you can improve yourself. And then also by knowing your learning styles, it also teach you how to use your brain best. Actually, we know that there are two parts of brain. The first we call right hemisphere, and then the second one we call this one left hemisphere. Now, if you know your learning style, you can use your brain effectively, and then also it will give you insight into your strengths, weaknesses, and habit. Nah, in here, you know your strength, and then you know, oh yeah, I'm low in this part, so this is my power. And then you also know about your habit. Oh yeah, I like this. I like to do something. I like to do this, and then do not want to do this. You know yourself. Okay, and then the next one, it is also enables you to enjoy any learning process. So it is important for you when you learn something, you should feel enjoy. If you feel enjoy to learn something or to get the information, so it is the easy way for your brain to keep it in your brain, and then to practice it, and then to memorize it. And then the next one, another benefit for you, for the students, besides it can improve your self-confidence, it can improve your self-image. Nah, it is also allow you to improve uh, your professional skills ability. In here, in professional skills ability, it will help you to socialize in a good way with your teachers, with your students, with the students, or with your colleagues, and then with your parents. Okay, next please. Now, another theories also support that when students know their styles, they can enhance an effectiveness of their own learning, and then thus making them aware of how they learn best. They try to do best when they study. They try to get a good score. For example, they try to graduate from university on time, and then anything that they can do in order to use or to get the benefit of learning style. And then the last one, it is about the impact of a learning style on education. Now, here, not only the teacher, but also the students can get any benefit from learning style. But a learning style also have some impact on education. Now, the first, it is about the instruction. There are three part that will get another impact of learning style. Now, the first, it is about the instruction. Now, here, teacher can design their instruction method and connect with the student's learning style. So the teacher can design their instructions that refers to their students' learning style. Okay, and then the second one, it is from the impact on curriculum. Now, the impact on curriculum, it is refers to the educators. Now, educators can also must place emphasize on intuition, feeling, sensing, and imagination, in addition to the traditional skills of analysis. As we know that the development of curriculum, it is changed over the time. So in my era, we have curriculum 1994, and then curriculum KBK, kemudian ada kurikulum sekarang, it is about 2013 curriculum. So for educators, they can emphasize on intuition, feeling and sensing and imaginations, in addition to the traditional skills of analysis. So they can get anything, they can get something new for the students, bring something new, not only for the teacher and students, but also for the learning process. And then the last one, it is impact on the assessment. Now, in assessment part, teacher can employ a variety of assessment techniques. If most of their students are tactile learners, they tend to use the combination. They tend to use many kind of techniques of assessment, for example, multiple choice or taking a note or making a video. This is for kinesthetic learner that they try to involve in teaching and learning process, and they can use many kind of the technique by making the portfolio, for example. So in here, learning styles give the many impact, not only for the teachers, the students, for the instructional curriculum, and also assessment. So the next one, the last one, the keyword here. Now, by knowing your style and using the right strategy can make learning faster, more enjoyable, and more effective. So learning style, it is not only important for teachers, but also it is important for the students. By knowing it, the teacher can make the teaching and learning process become more enjoyable and then more effective than before. And also for the students, they can't be bored with the teaching and learning process. Okay, I think that's all. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Bu Rizky Amelia. Well, Bu Rizky, some question come up for you. So be ready in the end. Our meeting today. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, now we come to our last speaker, Riri Fauzana, MSc. Okay, let me introduce her a little bit to you. She is a graduate University of Riau for bachelor degree, and Putra Malaysia University for master degree. And since her subject of expertise is listening, then today she will present about learning style in listening. Okay, Bu Riri, are you ready?
Yes, inshallah.
Okay, time is yours, Bu Riri.
Okay, thank you, Mem Kurnia. Okay, assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, thank you.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi
wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity that the moderator Mem Kurnia given to me. Okay, similar with another keynote speaker, our topic is about learning style. Here, learning style is more about listening. Okay, before we go, I want to share my PowerPoint first. Okay, learning style in listening. Special this for listening. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Okay, we go to the topic. Okay, for the first slide. After the 3 keynote speaker explain about learning style, now did you know about your learning style itself? Yeah, you can answer in your heart, okay? Now, before we go to listening, now I will explain about learning style first, briefly. Yeah, actually, there are more than 4 learning style, but normally or commonly, we learn about 4 learning style. Okay, learning style. This is about visual, auditory, kinesthetic, and also read and write. Okay, we will discuss one by one briefly. Okay. Okay, now we go to visual. It is about eyes, about seeing. Okay. In visual learning style, respond based by seeing new information. So use eyes. That because visual learning remember and learn what they see the most. Visual learning do well with chart, videos, image, diagram, and another form of visual materials that the teacher or in the classroom material. And then one of the many benefits of being a visual learner is the human brain process. Now, in visual information, in visual style, the learner can get information faster than plain text, of course. Now, as a visual learning, you or us can take a lot of information really quickly because you prefer this processing method that humans are already very good at. And then when taking notes, the students are more likely to organize their note into visual patterns like charts or make diagrams. And then they might separate their page of notes into different sections. And then many visual learners also do well with color coding. And then they put in the notes with different color pens or highlighter. Okay, now this is the tips for visual learning when online class or daring ya. Nah, when you are a visual learner, when we learn at home, now visual learner need to minimize distractions instead of studying next to a window. Now remember, go far from the window or the door are open, okay, and getting distracted by the outside. And then create a dedicated workspace and make class the most engaging. This in your eye line. So remember, if you are still daring or Zoom with your lecturer or teacher, please in a room close. Okay, next about auditory. Okay. Auditory learns success when they can hear. So it means the auditory learner use ears. They do well with the lecturer or the teacher and often learn best when they read material loud to themselves. And then auditory learners learn best by hearing. And then they also carefully in listening. Okay, this can include hearing things from external sources as well as hearing themselves talk. And then they are very likely to volunteer to answer questions and to active participate in the classroom or in online class. And also auditory learner have a great advantage in the classroom. This in classroom we see in the classroom first, because they're not afraid to speak their mind and get answer to their questions. That also happen when we do in online class. And then while reading or writing, learners might not even realize they have a question until they have time to go back and understand about everything. And then any form of listening or speaking is going to listen like a voice, okay, and also song, okay. Now they also some popular methods, some popular methods include lecturers, audiobooks, audiobooks like online, discussion, and also verbal position. Okay, this remember tips for auditory learner in online class. Auditory learners can thrive in distance learning environment because online class tend to place a greater emphasis on sounds and listening. So that's why as you as auditory learners, it's better for you to use headset or earphone or headphone, when attending class, to block out other sounds to make you concentrate. Okay, next. Nah, this about kinesthetic. Yeah, what does it mean, kinesthetic? The word kin means motion. Yeah, such as kinesthetic learner learn best by going through the motion or actually doing something, maybe a gesture or hand or foot or head or body. When they're active moving their body and combining that with what they are learning, it's much easier for them to internalize the information. So easy for the kinesthetic learner to get the information. And then student in this situation to sign in demonstration and experiments. They also learn best from seeing something firsthand, watching live videos, and going on the field trip. But we do not do field trip in online class in a pandemic. Okay, and then even just combining the physical motion with the piece of information can help them. They might listen even though in the online classroom by doing kinesthetic style. Okay, now this is the tips for kinesthetic learners. In virtual learner environment are particularly helpful for kinesthetic learners. Yeah, teacher generally front often walking around during the lecture, but in a virtual environment. Okay, kinesthetic learner can turn on recorded material and move while they listen to or study in. Or if the lecturer or the teacher give permission, you can standing or walking desk can also help kinesthetic. So it means when the class start, don't sit down. Okay, you can stand or use the walking desk, yeah, like podium like that, yeah. So it means you can move your foot below, but the teacher or the lecturer cannot see your activity below. Okay. Okay, next it is about read and write. As the name implies, us reading and writing learners absorb information based when they can read and write it. They learn most easily from the books, yeah, and then can benefit from talking notes. Yes, can talking notes and seeing notes on the board. Okay, now take notes, read, and then they can conclude. Okay, the student learn best from book list. Now, not only books, but list also. For example, the student and the teacher or the lecturer give the vocabulary list that the student have to learn now. For the read write style, it is the better for it is good for the learners in this area, and also journal or dictionary, etc. And then some things this student might do to intuitively help themselves learn are rewriting their notes, using flashcard, yeah, when we offline, adding notes to picture or diagram, and using closed caption on the videos. Now, like before, and also there is a tips for reading and writing learners. In online format or in online class, reading and writing learners can increase their productivity by taking notes. Yeah, this taking notes during online. Sorry, during online lectures or discussion. And then some online platform create automatic transcript for lecturer, which reading centered learning can use to follow along or review content later. Rewriting and rereading also help these learners command new information. Rewriting and also rereading. Okay. Okay, now there are 4 learning styles before: auditory, visual, kinesthetic, and also read and write. Okay, visual means see it, auditory means hear it and say it, and kinesthetic means do it. Okay, that's nice. We go to listening. Okay, in listening activity, not all of the listening activity or games that we can use while we have a online class or uh, online material. Some of them are for the first, it is about visual first, about the movie vocabulary. What does it mean, movie vocabulary? Movie vocabulary here, the student listens specific information of vocabulary from the movie or movie clips. Yeah, of course, the teacher distribute or send the movie clips before class, and then the teacher gives the list of vocabulary and then send to the students in here. For example, the teacher can use the topic about transportation or maybe fruit, the simple one. Okay, and then the student review the pronunciation with the student. Okay, means the teacher. Okay, and then play the movie clips, mean the play the movie or play the file, play the clips. And then after that, the student mark off the word as they hear them. So when the movie play, the student have to mark off, yeah, or give a tick and understand about the vocabulary that the teacher given. You have to make what we call you have to make as a teacher make a level that appropriate with your students. It means if high level that you teach, so it means you have to give the high what we call it difficult vocabulary for the students. Now after watch the clips, yeah, or the movie, see who heard the most words and then discuss the meaning, and then the teacher ask the student to discuss or to pronounce the vocabulary that already list, and then the meaning, the word, and then the student, if do not already know, we can discuss together, or you can ask the another students. Okay, next we go to sounds vocabulary. Now sounds vocabulary here, if you're doing vocabulary, for example, about animals or transportation or anything, yeah, you have to lead itself to specific noise. Try having your student match sound words, the words, yeah, and then give them vocabulary words on index card or a number list. Now, if we do not use card in online class, we can use number list. And then play sound associated with each words, such as sounds that the item makes, sounds you might hear at the place, or conversation. Yeah, if the high level you can make in conversation happen in association with the words, and then have the student match each sound clip to the appropriate vocabulary words. That about the sounds vocabulary. Okay, this is about TED Talk. What does it mean, TED Talks? You can find in internet, or you can browse tedtalks.com. It is about influential videos from expert speakers on education, business, science, technology, and others. And then this also, there is a subtitle more than 100 languages. You can check it. And then TED Talks are great resource for ESL teachers and students, even though we are not ESS, not second year foreigns, but we have to try. And then they are short, interesting, and versatile. Play a TED talk for your intermediate or advanced students. Now, it is appropriate for university students. The first time, ask the student to listen for the main idea. And then the second time, they have to listen the specific comprehension questions. And then the third, go to the opinion versus facts, and then we can discuss in online class. Okay, next we go to the auditory. Now, auditory here we use our ear. Okay, for the first is hearing is believing. What does it mean, hearing is believing? Hearing, believing here means before listen to the dialogue, play some background noises that match the location of your scenes or have student make prediction. For example, our topic is about ordering in restaurant, for example. So make the sounds of our environment like real restaurant, so the student know exactly they can feel like in real restaurant, for example, like that. Or maybe about the bus station, and then the teacher have to find the sounds like the environment is look like in bus station, so it means crowded. It is about hearing is believing, so the student know exactly what the situation in the real life. Okay. The second one is back-to-back interview. What does it mean back-to-back interview here? And here we have more than one student, so it means two students. Yeah. For example, it is via Zoom. Yeah. You can use also when you are in offline. So it means sit back to back. Actually, back to back. It is means sit, but we can create for online class. And then here the visual clues from the conversation, and then give one student a famous person. So it means give the name of the famous person to role play, and have to another person ask, for example, more than 5 questions. Yeah, you can make with the appropriate level, and then not noting the answer that the partner given, and then can the interviewer guess who the interviewee is? After the interview, have student which role? Yes, switch role. So it means take turn. And then give the interview with a different celebrity to role play. We can do this when we in online class. Okay. Okay, and next it is about kinesthetic. Now, kinesthetic here, I just give example about listen and draw. What does it mean, listen and draw? And here the teacher give the direction. For example, for example, the teacher say like this: draw a square in the center of your paper. So it means the student have to draw. So it means the student with the kinesthetic style can moving the hand, not only listen and also only see the teacher explanation. Okay, for example, draw a triangle on top of the square. For example, after the student draw the square, the center on the paper, and then after that, next ask the student draw a triangle on the top of the square, and then after that maybe a small rectangle inside the square at the bottom, etc. This about listen and draw. Okay, this the learning style can adapt to online classes. Now look at here, visual learn best by seeing. Tips: create your own design and the diagram for data. Minimize visual distraction during the class. It means like I said before, you have to go so far from the window. Taking engaging notes. For auditory tips, use headphone, headset, or listen the lecture with the screen turned on, and then read material out loud. Okay, and then for kinesthetic, listen to the lecturer or the teacher while walking. Okay, use the standing or walking desk at home if possible. And then keep a fidget toys handy. Yeah, maybe slime or Play-Doh, whatever. Yeah, to make your finger, your hand moving. Yeah, why not? Okay, and then reading and writing. Here the tips: take notes during online session. Check for transcript for lecturers or study in the class. And then set aside time to rewrite and reread material. Rewrite and reread materials. Okay, now have you discovered your learning style? Nah, yeah. You have to know your learning style when you go to classroom. Okay, you can maybe you discover or you can decide that you are visual, auditory, kinesthetic, or read, write. What for? What for we have to know. If you able to determine your learning style along with some study methods that work for you, you just might find yourself getting better result. Better result. Okay, I think just enough for my turn. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much, Bu Riri Fauzana. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, I know that today's topic may bring up a number of questions from you. And I want to let you know that we are here to share information and experience with you. Well, we have some questions already in our chat room through YouTube and Zoom. But before, I'm going to place the audiences, especially in Zoom room, to give question directly to our speakers today. But while waiting for them, you may raise your hand, okay? While waiting for you, let me read some question for the first speaker, Bu Nur Aisyah. Okay, Bu Aisyah, yeah, you have one question, Bu Aisyah.
Okay.
Okay, let me read for you. It is from Elga Sri Wahyuni. The question is, I want to ask about how to teach attitude to children in this online learning process, because at this moment an explanation is not enough. So what can be done? Thank you. Please, Bu Aisyah.
Okay, thank you, Ibu Kurnia, and thank you for the question from Elga Sri Wahyuni. Actually, the question is how to teach. Okay, how to teach the attitude to children in this online learning process. Okay, actually, the question addressed to the assessment aspect of curriculum 2013. Actually, in the curriculum 2013, we have 3 aspects that should be considered by the teacher to assess teaching learning process. The first one, we come to the knowledge, penilaian pengetahuan, and then skill, keterampilan, dan attitude, sikap. This is a 3-part that we have to consider to assess the teaching and learning process based on the curriculum 2013. Okay, related to the question, how to assess the attitude. Thank you for the question, Elga. Actually, any Elga here? Elga on YouTube or in Zoom? Maybe on YouTube. Okay. We have to consider first that we have a positive aspect of online learning experience. But now we face on the negative effect. But when we talk about the attitude, we have to consider whether it is related to the teaching learning process or relate to the teacher.
Enggak in YouTube, Miss Aisyah.
Oh, in YouTube. Oke. Okay. Jadi, dua itu, Miss Elga, ini problemnya relate to the teaching and learning process or relate to the teacher itself. Kan gitu. Attitude-nya ke proses pembelajaran atau sikap terhadap guru. Sikap terhadap siswa terhadap guru. Okay. Actually, we have 5. Kita punya 5 ranah berpikir sikap based on the curriculum 2013. The first one is menerima atau memperhatikan. Sudahkah guru menerima atau memperhatikan proses pembelajaran selama ini atau sikapnya, sikap siswa? Kemudian, adakah guru merespon? Jadi, because this is an online activity, the teachers not only give it not only give it the lesson, not only transfer the knowledge, they have to be able to give a feedback from what he teach before. Jadi kasih respon dong Bapak Ibu Guru, kan gitu. Kemudian ada nggak Bapak atau Ibu Guru memberi apresiasi, menghargai, giving a feedback from the teacher, from the student. Kemudian ada nggak organize, mengatur proses pembelajaran itu dengan baik, karena kita yang di sekolah kita punya RPP. Yang kita di universitas kita punya RPS, ini terorganisasi. Jika ini terorganisasi dengan baik, maka tidak ada permasalahan yang timbul yang terlalu signifikan. Yang terakhir ada menjadi guru yang berkarakter. Jadi this is a 5 aspect that should be considered in sikap atau attitude. Kalau sudah dikerjakan dengan baik, tapi ada juga problem kan gitu, baru ini menjadi pertanyaan dari Elga tadi. Udah Miss, udah Bu Aisyah, sudah dikerjakan nih, kami guru sekarang ini, kami sudah menerima, sudah memperhatikan, sudah memberikan respon, giving a feedback, sudah memberikan apresiasi, kemudian sudah mengorganisasi proses, mengatur, manage the teaching and learning process, and be a good teacher. Sudah semua dilaksanakan, tapi masih ada terkendala, maka what should we do? As a teacher, the first one we have to observe. Kita mengobservasi perilaku siswa itu by giving pembinaan ya bahasanya, pembinaan. So what is we have to do? Kalau ditanya how to teach ya, relate to the question of Elga. First, tell children, karena questionnya children kali, berarti activity in teaching at the school. Give it jurnal kegiatan bersifat religius. Nah, misalkan ini kan berupa sikap ya, kita tidak berdiskusi tentang the knowledge and the skill of the student relate to the teaching and learning process. Kasih dia jurnal kegiatan bersifat religius. Apa catatan-catatan misalkan seperti checklist, karena dia online, berarti ketika dia mengerjakan dengan baik jurnal religius ini, maka dia akan baik bersikap. Misalkan checklist hari ini saya sudah sholat, hari ini saya sudah berbuat baik. Kemudian yang kedua, jurnal bersikap nasionalis. Ada juga ya yang nasionalis, ada religi, ada nasionalis. Seperti apa ini kegiatannya? Misalkan memberikan seberapa sering Ananda atau mahasiswa menjaga kebersihan lingkungan. Ingat sikap ya, kita bersikap ya. Tadi tentang religi, ini sikap tentang nasionalis. Kemudian yang ketiga ada nilai kemandirian. Apa mandiri itu? Contohnya tepat waktu mengerjakan tugas, mengikuti kelas online. Itu sikapnya. Ada tugas dalam nilai kemandirian. Kemudian ada jurnal kegiatan bersifat gotong royong. Nah, kita kasih checklistnya. Hari ini sudah membantu ibu kah di rumah? Nah, hari ini sudah kegiatan apa yang sudah dilakukan bersama-sama atau mengerjakan kerja kelompok secara online di sekolah? Yang terakhir ada tugas integritas, bertanggung jawab. Ini mungkin seperti checklist ya, karena kita kegiatan tadi ada mengobservation. Bertanggung jawab, mengerjakan tugas, mengikuti kelas online. This is activity related to the attitude. Ini yang akan kita ajarkan kepada siswa terkait tentang sikap atau attitude. Karena kemudian we have to consider jika semua ini sudah dilakukan dengan baik juga, kita tetap berpositif thinking dan tetap berhusnuzon dengan kondisi saat ini, baik guru maupun siswa, kita sama-sama berlapang hati menghadapi kondisi pandemik ini. Kita selain siswa, kita harus mempertimbangkan time effectiveness, efektif nggak pembelajaran. Untuk saat ini, karena kita berdiri di bawah naungan jurusan pendidikan bahasa Inggris, kalau yang saya lihat untuk saat pandemi ini, apakah pembelajaran bahasa Inggris itu yang tadinya seminggu sekali, apakah tetap dengan waktu yang sama, atau malah sebulan menjadi sekali satu pertemuan. Nah, itu mungkin yang mempengaruhi sikap anak. Yang kedua, time effectiveness and then lack of ICT knowledge. Jangan marah dong Bapak Ibu Guru, anak sekarang sudah pintar nih. Sekarang Bapak Ibu Guru sudah pintar nggak? Sudah menggunakan
Aisyah.
Yes?
Yeah, because there is a foreigner also here, so they say that it's better for us to speak English. They understand.
Okay, good. I'm so sorry. Okay, we have to consider about time efficiency. About the time efficiency, we have to consider about whether the time that we used to teach is effective or not with the condition of right now in online situation. The second one is the ICT knowledge, the lack of ICT knowledge. We have to consider the use of how the teacher, provide the technology for this, not only like Indonesian today. The teacher, some of the teachers only use WhatsApp. It's not appropriate. And then we have to consider about the limited availability of educational source. We have to consider about the sources that we use in teaching and learning process. And the second one is low attendance of students. If it is related to the low attendance of the student, so we discuss about the student attitude. If it is about the student attitude, so we have to do the observation first to the student. We give the activity relate to the attitude itself that I said to you before about giving a journal or giving the activity relate to the at-home activity. And then, what is the activity that we have to consider? And then we have to consider about the uncooperative learner. This is a situation that faced by the teacher relate to the attitude. And then insufficient support from the teacher. This is the activity that we face today in online situation. So we do not say that this is related to the attitude of the student itself, but we have to ask ourselves as a teacher whether that we have give the better one for the student relate to the teaching and learning process without this consideration, how teacher learning process cannot do run well. Thank you, Ma'am Kurnia.
Okay, thank you so much, Bu Aisyah. So I think this question come up to most of our teacher right now, since we are still in pandemic era, okay, and most of us are using online class, and they got problem to teach attitude for student, but we can get some information from Bu Aisyah. It is also stated in the guideline of our curriculum. Is it true, Bu Aisyah?
Yes.
Curriculum 2013, right? So maybe Elga can assess, right, the source later on to give you clear information about the guideline of teaching, especially for attitude. Okay, thank you so much, Bu Aisyah.
Okay,
And
thank
then,
you.
okay, well, now we come to Bu Faurina. Bu Faurina, I have two questions for you. Okay, it comes from Wilza Noviska. Okay, number one is it possible for one student has all of types of learning style, or just has only one type of learning style? Okay, and then the second one is how can the teacher apply the learning strategy after teacher knew the variety of students' learning style? Okay, two questions from Wilza Noviska for Bu Faurina. Please, Bu Faurina.
Yeah, thank you, Bukur. I'm going to answer the last questions, those two questions. The first is it possible? A person may have one learning style only. Maybe you only prefer to have a visual learning style. Maybe you prefer to only have a kinesthetic learning style. And each of you maybe have one learning style. But is it possible if those 2, 3, even 4 learning styles we can find in a person? The answer is possible, even it is a little bit rare to find. Jadi untuk gaya belajar itu biasanya umumnya itu ditemukan kecenderungan itu satu gaya belajar pada pembelajar atau pada seorang siswa. But kalaupun ada 2, 3, even 4 or more than that learning styles, itu namanya multimodal learners. Jadi kita pembelajar itu biasanya cenderung dengan sukanya melihat, sukanya mendengar, sukanya membaca atau menulis, atau or even doing something because she is or he is a kinesthetic learner. Tapi kalau kombinasinya itu ditemukan, itu namanya multimodal learners. Itu kecenderungan itu sangat jarang sih sebenarnya, tapi kalaupun ada orang yang seperti itu atau pembelajar yang mempunyai 2 atau lebih gaya belajar yang dia senangi, itu akan membuat dia menjadi lebih lebih sukses daripada teman-temannya yang lain, karena sense-nya, penglihatan, pendengaran, kemudian kemampuan membaca menulisnya dan geraknya itu terimprove dalam satu sekaligus or inline, itu akan membuat dia lebih sukses daripada teman-temannya yang lain. So it is possible if you find out a learner with more than one learning strategy. Kemudian untuk pertanyaan Dela yang kedua, how can the teacher apply the teaching strategy? Not the teaching strategy, but not the learning strategy, but it is the teaching strategy. Karena untuk teacher adalah bagaimana how to identify the teaching strategy. Jadi setelah mengetahui what kind of learning style are you, so the teacher can decide what kind of teaching approach that the teacher will use in a classroom. Jadi guru itu bisa memutuskan pendekatan mana yang akan dia gunakan. Yang pertama adalah yang bisa dilakukan guru adalah pendekatan yang berbasis guru atau teacher center. Kenapa? Teacher center ini kan yang yang lebih aktif bergerak itu adalah guru. Fungsinya adalah untuk membuat siswa yang secara proses pembelajaran itu pasif. Pasif di sini apa? Dia lebih senang mendengar. Ini akan menolong siswa yang mempunyai gaya belajar mendengar itu tadi. Gaya belajar mendengarnya itu tertolong dengan approach teacher center. Kemudian siswa yang cenderung untuk pay attention to the to the information, to the speech, jadi ceramah guru, perintah guru, apa yang disuruh guru itu dia hanya mendengar dan ngikutin, itu akan tertolong. Kemudian the teacher can decide to the second approach, it's named student center. Jadi di sini keputusan yang kedua dia bisa menggunakan pendekatan yang berbasis berpusat pada siswa. Jadi siswa yang memang tadi aktif tidak bisa diam, yang cenderung melakukan gerakan harus melakukan riset, harus melakukan latihan dan sebagainya akan tertolong di bagian ini. Jadi siswa-siswa yang kinesthetic learner tadi, even yang memang cenderung mendengar lebih banyak, ini akan tertolong di sini. Jadi atau yang membaca atau menulis lebih banyak. Jadi praktis di part ini praktis yang ditekankan. Kalau di part yang pertama, approach yang pertama itu guru bisa memutuskan dia lebih banyak memberikan ceramah atau memberikan panduan, memberikan perintah. Sedangkan yang di part kedua, student center, itu lebih banyak ke praktis. Jadi praktis, latihan yang akan menolong pembelajar yang cenderung kepada kinestetik dan write or read learner. Jadi atau kombinasi dari semuanya, karena guru tidak mungkin bisa mengakomodir satu gaya belajar saja untuk satu orang pelajar. Jadi dia harus mengkombinasikan dari segitu banyak siswa di dalam kelas, harus bisa terakomodir semuanya dalam durasi yang sudah ditentukan dari sekolah. Kemudian di sini tentu saja ini akan membuat guru it will help the teacher easy to identify what kind of tasks, what kind of activities that she will introduce or promote in a classroom, so that the students can be connected to the topic, to the activities, and then absolutely they will get the better result of that topic. So that my explanation, Mem Kurnia. Bu Kurnia.
Maybe Bu Kurnia loss of signal, the unstable signal. We come to the, maybe any suggestions or any additional answer from Rizky Amelia?
Okay, thank you, Ma'am Aisyah. The second questions, I want to add something about Della Riza questions. Is it possible for one student has all the type of learning styles, or is it possible for student just has one type of learning style? Okay, based on the last speaker explanation from Ma'am Faurina. So the first thing that you must know it is about the definition first. Now the keywords here, it is a preferred way to learn. Prefer means we have two things that one of the things we are better in it atau we love it so much. Nah, jadi the keywordnya adalah river. Nah, in here, based on the VAK theories, visual, auditory, and kinesthetic theories, itu ada the only 3 part, visual, kinesthetic, and visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. Now, if we see the definition from, I just explained before from rate. Now, rate at another styles of learning, it is the combination between learning through the sense of touch, learning primarily by hands-on task. Nah, di sini ada combination, ada yang dia tend to use both of visual and then also auditory. They tend to listen first and then take a note and then see and then take a note and then see, hear, see, take note, something like that. Nah, jadi different expert will have different opinion, but dominantly there are three type of commonly 3 type of learning styles: visual, auditory, and kinesthetic. But by seeing this problem, another expert, we can see from the REDS learning style model here, some of our students tend to read and write some things after they see or they hear the information, and then they tend to write it. So the name of this learning style, it is different. It is not visual, it is not reverse to visual, kinesthetic, or auditory, but we call this one, some of experts say it is tactile, and then another expert say it is reading and writing learning styles. So we call that one not the combination. So everybody have their own, it means they have the dominant one, the dominant styles, then the other one. Okay. This is the questions for Dela. So you should identify first. You should identify first which type that do you prefer to. Is it a visual or auditory or kinesthetic? Or maybe this is, we call this one reading and writing styles or tactile styles, or maybe group learning style, or maybe individual styles. Okay. I think this is the answer, additional answer for Dela Riza. Thank you, Ma'am Aisa.
Okay, thank you so much. Aisha, for helping me. Okay, thank you so much, Bu Rizky Amelia. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we still have some question. And now they are for you, Bu Riri. Okay, as Bu Aisyah, but I think you can give different point of view, okay, to answer this question. It is from Elga Sri Wahyuni. At this time, the explanation of attitude, teaching attitude is not good only by the way of explanation, because children also need examples to imitate. So how do you do it, ma'am? What to do, right? Okay. And then question number 2 from Akil Isa. When the teacher show the video or play sound in online class, sometimes there are some problems, such as the sound can be heard by the student or videos can be seen by the student. How to solve this problem? And then finally, from Gulnara Akunova from Kyrgyzstan. Okay, it is for you, Bu Riri. How do you combine auditory and visual learners in activities. Okay, well, I do hope others speaker will give more explanation as well about those questions later on. Please, Bu Riri, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Mem Kurnia. Okay, there are 3 questions, yeah. Okay, I try to answer. For the first, it is from Elga Sri Wahyuni. Actually, your question are little similar with number 1 that already answered by Mem Aisha. But okay, I enrich the answer. How about the attitude teaching? Attitude teaching when online class means, yeah, like Ma'am Aisha said, the attitude, for example, the teacher be on time at the class. For example, the time is at 8 o'clock until 10. So it means the teacher have to be on time to start the class. Yeah, and then how to speak in front of the attitude note, what we call that, use the good word, good sentences. If, for example, if Muslim is wearing a veil, yeah, if not Muslim, for example, we have to wear a dress, or for the girl, dress or shirt. Yeah, there is a collar here. Not you wear the t-shirt for boy, for example, as a lecturer or the teacher. So it means like an informal situation. Yeah. Imitate the students always see everything from the teacher or from the lecturer. Yeah, especially for the kindergarten, for elementary school, the student is more believe with the teacher than the parents, like that. So it means you have to do best in front of the student about time, attitude in speaking, yeah, attitude how to solve the class. It means if crowded in the online class, for example, how do you solve the problem? How do you what we call your student to keep silent, for example, and then not angry, not arrogant, not give a negative, what does it mean, negative words, for example. And then we go to, okay, that's the answer. And then from Akil Isa, how when the teacher show the video but the sound cannot be heard and cannot seen, yeah, by the student. Is that's why in my presentation before I already said that before class, especially in listening, it's better for you to send the file or video to your student, maybe via WhatsApp group or email or etc. before in online class by using Zoom or Google Meeting or others. It's better for you to send first to the students. It's better the student can listen before class. Okay. And then next from Gulnara Akunova. How do you combine auditory and visual learners in activity? Now, visuals means about the pictures, about the seeing, about the chart and diagram. And then about auditory, for example, it is for example in listening, yeah, because my area in listening, for example, it is about listening. For example, the conversation or the story about what we call that, animals, yeah, for example, about animals, yeah, the relationship, friendship about two animals, for example, about lion and tiger, for example. Now the story show the picture. It means there is a clip or the picture on our screen, yeah, like what we call picture, and then there is a speaker tell about the story, so the student can listen the story by seeing the picture. For example, the lion bite the tiger, for example. So there is a picture about lion bite the tiger. Yeah. Okay, and then for example, the tiger run the lion, for example. So the picture show about how the tiger run the lion. Okay, I think enough, Ma'am Kurnia. Maybe another keynote speaker can add more information or can answer.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much, Bu Riri. Okay, we please another speakers to give additional information maybe about those questions.
Okay, Ma'am Kurnia.
Okay, please, Bu Rizky.
I want to add the example of the questions from the question from Bu what is the name? Oh yeah, Gulnara Kunova. Okay, how do you combine auditory and visual learners in activities? Okay, I just want to give one example that I have done in my class. This is for visual learners, and then for visual and auditory learners. When I give the task to my students, it is about the topic. It is about family tree. So in this part, I ask my students, the first thing, I ask them to draw their own family tree. So they draw their own family tree. It means this refers to the visual student. Or they can bring the photo of their family trees. After that, after they bring the photo of their family tree, or maybe they can draw their family tree on a simple map or in a piece of paper. And then I also ask them to interview their parents, and then make a recording about their parents' interview. And here they will listen to their parents about their that tell about their family tree. And then after they draw the picture and then they interview their parents, and then the last task, I ask them to write it down all of the information that they see from the picture, and also the information that they hear from their parents, and then they write it on the task. The last task, it is about to make the summary or to take a note or to give the information about the family tree. This is one of the example of the task that I have given to my students on the topic about family tree. Okay, Ma'am Kurnia. Ma'am Kurnia. Ma'am Kurnia. Okay. And Ma'am Kurnia, can you hear me? Okay, I will also answer the fourth questions. The fourth question, it is from Akil Isa. How to identify the student's learning style in the classroom. So, how to identify our students' learning style? The first thing, when we have on-site learning or face-to-face learning, Actually, you can do the observation. You can observe your students directly in the classroom. Before the pandemic era, you can use observation. Your students, you can observe them when you explain the material in the classroom, and then see your students' reactions to the information that you give. You can observe them. By observing the students, you can know which type of your students' learning styles. Is it a visual, auditory, or maybe kinesthetic? But during this pandemic era, on these 2 years, actually, we don't have face-to-face learning or on-site learning. We have online learning. So how come I will know about my students' learning style? Now, the second way that you can do to know your students' learning style, it is by giving simple questions. Simple questionnaires. You can find it many kinds of questionnaires. It refers to identify the student's learning style. The student can answer the questionnaires directly, and then after that you can know about which type of your students. You can share the questionnaire in the form of Google form, or you can send it to the student's email or etc. And then the third way that you can do in order to know your students' learning style is by interview them. Now you can have an interview with your own students. You can do it. You can do the interview individually or in a group. So after you ask the questions to them and then you got the answer, you can identify directly which type of learning style of your students. So Isa, many things that you can do by observing, by giving them the questionnaires, and also you can interview them directly or individually or in a group. Okay, thank you. Ma'am Kurnia.
Okay, thank you so much, Bu Rizky Amelia.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, before we come to closing statement, right? It is from Annie. The question is, if all students in my class have a different learning style, how can I teach them? Okay, who are going to answer this question?
Ma'am Kurnia, I will try to answer it. Ma'am Kurnia?
Okay, please,
Yeah.
Bu Rizky.
Yeah. The last questions. If I know that in my classroom there are so many students that have different learning style, how can I teach them? You can use many kind of assessment in the classroom, many kind of the technique. For example, me in myself, in my class, I try to use the combination between all of this learning style. If my student like to speak out, I will ask them to present the topic directly in the form of video or directly in front of the class. But beside that, how about for the students who do not like to speaking up? Nah, I use the combination between delivering the topic in orally and then also in writing it in a paper. So the task that I have given to them will vary. It is not only refers to the use the combination between two kind of tasks and sometimes three kind of tasks, not only just one type of task. So in order to avoid that only some of students like to do this task, so I would like to use the combination of many type of the task. For example, tadi I have the task for I asked them to write it on a paper, and then they also try to present it by making the video. I think this is the combination between, in order to overcome that in our classroom, there are so many students who have different style of learning. So the teacher can use many kind of the combination of assessment that can be applied in the classroom. Okay, Ma'am Kurnia.
Okay, thank you so much, Bu Irian. It is very helpful, I think, for the audiences today. Okay, well, it seems that there are no more questions. And it is almost 11. Okay, or the audiences or participants in Zoom room to give direct question to our speakers, please. You may raise your hand. Okay. It seems no more question. Okay, well, finally we come to closing statement from each speaker. Please, Bu Aisyah.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma'am Korea. This is the last chance for me to speak. Before I stated the last statement from me, I just said thank you very much for all of the audience. They stay tuned from the YouTube and from Zoom meeting. Thank you for all of you. Okay, the closing statement from me is about the technology. Learning style is technology has become an integral part of teaching and instructing students. But the technology also enables the teacher, enables the educators, enable the lecturers to accommodate three main learning styles. However, the technology are not as a main of the teaching and learning process, it is only as a media to support teaching and learning process. And pedagogy or educating is the first. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Bu Dr. Nur Aisyah Zulkifli. Okay, now we come to the second closing statement from Bu Dr. Faurina Anastasia. Okay, please, Bu Faurina.
Yeah, thank you, Bu Kur. Yeah, my closing statement is, yeah, there is nothing right or wrong with any of these learning styles. So there is no, it is the better, it is the worst. No, there is no right or wrong. It is simply names and categories for the ways different brain information. It is only the process how you catch the knowledge, the information for your language learning. And then the important thing is, please adjust your learning style on any kind of subject to make you connected with it, because this style can change over time, and then the student will match with each style based on the different degrees. So it will change. Maybe at this time you have this kind of learning style, and if you get a higher level, you will change it to become two learning styles in line. Thank you, Bu Kurnia.
Okay, thank you very much, Bu Paulina. We come to closing statement from Bu Rizky Amelia. Please, Bu Rizky.
Okay, thank you, Ma'am Kurnia. The important thing that you should know it is about by knowing your style and using the right strategy can make learning faster, more enjoyable, and more effective. By knowing your own style, you can make learning be more enjoyable. You can have a successful in learning process. Okay, thank you, Ma'am Kurnia.
Well, I think Bu Kurnia now
Okay.
is not in this. Oh, you're
Right. Now it's okay.
you are back. Okay.
All right. Okay, thank you so much, Bu Riz. A closing statement from Bu Riri Fauzana. Please, Bu Riri.
Okay, thank you, Ma'am Kurnia, for the closing statement here. Remember, learning style in online class for visual, you have to create your own design and diagram for the material in the class. And then for the auditory, you have to use headphone or headset. And then for kinesthetic, please keep the fidget toys handy to make your finger or your hand can touch something and moving. And then for reading and writing, remember you have to rewrite and reread material. And then you have to decide your learning style to make or to find yourself getting better result. Okay, thank you, Ma'am Kurnia. Ma'am Kurnia.
Maybe Ma'am Zeli can continue the discussion for the photo session.
Or maybe Ma'am Chut can replace Ma'am Kurnia or Ma'am Zeli.
I think Bu Kurnia is still in this.
Okay, thank you
Yes.
so much, Bu Riri. Okay, well, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, Bu Riri.
Ma'am Kurnia, where are you? Maybe Ma'am Zeli can replace Ma'am Kurnia. Oh, Ma'am Kurnia.
She's back.
Yes, come back.
You're still mute, Bu Kurnia. Well, I think the connections of Bu Kurnia is not
Connection is unstable.
not good. So we come to the last sessions of this webinar. We will take
Oh,
some of you
God.
participants.
All right. Thank you so much.
No sounds.
I'm sorry, Bu Kurnia, you are still mute. Masih mute. Okay now.
Okay, how about now?
Yes, you're okay now.
Okay, I'm so sorry for this technical problem. Okay, well, all right. Thank you, Bu Zeli. Okay, thank you so much for all speaker for your presentation today. I think those are very valuable for our audiences. especially for those who are teachers, right? Hopefully they can
Ma'am Zalik,
Yes.
implement.
Yes, ma'am.
we cannot hear Ma'am Kurnia's sounds.
Yeah, I think that's because of the connection. Okay, I'll take the
The
positions of
information and experience
Kurnia.
from all speakers
Oh,
today. Okay, well, ladies and
Okay,
She's left.
sila.
Left the Zoom meeting. Well, ladies and gentlemen, participants of the webinar, the explanations of our moderator today is not really good. Yeah, I think that's because of the connection. We'll go to the next session. That is taking pictures.
Okay. Well, ladies and
Ma'am Chup, can you
She's left. Left the Zoom meeting. Richard, yeah. Okay, that's okay.
maybe for all of the audience can turn on the camera.
Yes, yes. Okay, thank you, Ibu Moderator, Ibu narasumber. So we have all participants in this session. We will take your picture. We need your permission to take the pictures.
Yes.
God, I'm so sorry for this.
I hope you can turn on the video camera. So I'll take the pictures right now. So the slides, we have Akil here, Saprizal, Shania, Heiria, Hanisa, Helmi, and others. Ibu
Well,
Hasya.
Mr. Absar.
Yeah, Pak.
taken some pictures.
Thank you so much.
Terima kasih.
Pak Idam Syah Putra, okay. I'll take the picture. Wait, I'm using two laptops right now, so I'll have to change the laptop first to take the pictures. So 1, 2, 3, I'll take pictures for the first slide. So the first slide, 1, 2, 3, smile. Thank you so much. Okay, we'll come to the second slide. The second slide. Okay. Have a good smile, everyone. Okay, done. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us today in this webinar. And the next information for you is you have to fulfill the link of the presents for today. I'll share the screen for the link to get a certificate. Wait a minute. Okay, here it is. So this is a brief information about your certificate. Informasi tentang sertifikat. Is certificate information. Number 1, a certificate will be delivered to your email in condition that you have to fulfill all of the requirements or the items in that link. And the second, we also remind you to have double check your email since your certificate's name or the name of your name stated in the certificate will be derived from your email and also the name that you have been written in that link. So please double check. Once again, please double check your data before submission. And this is the link of the present atau link daftar hadir untuk hari ini. Silahkan para peserta mengisinya atau bisa juga dengan cara men-scan QR code yang ada di sebelah kanan. You can also scan the QR code on the very right side to get the link of the presents untuk daftar hadir and the link for your certificate. Jadi link untuk sertifikatnya di sini tiny.cc/daftar hadir 30. So that's the link to get your certificate. Thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much for our keynote speakers today, Ibu Dr. Nur Aisyah Zulkifli, Ibu Dr. Faurina Anastasia, and also Ibu Rizky Amelia, and once again, one more is Ibu Riri Fauzana. Yeah, I'm sorry, Ibu Riri, almost forgot you. Yeah. Okay, that's all for today. We will also send the link of the presents through the chat room in Zoom, and also for those who are live right now on YouTube, we will also send you the link for getting your certificate and also for the presents. And Bu Kurnia, I think Bu Kurnia, Bu Chen, and also Bu Diana is now in YouTube. Sekarang di YouTube, mungkin sudah di-share juga linknya di YouTube. Jadi bisa dicek juga di YouTube untuk para peserta. And since I think that Bu Kurnia has been back, sudah kembali, atau Bu Kurnia, you want to say something, Bu Kurnia? Halo Bu Kurnia, you are still mute. Masih ini. And thank you too for our team for today. Jadi tim pengabdian masyarakat untuk hari ini, untuk pelaksanaan webinar ini, ada beberapa orang dosen yang tidak terlihat, tapi mereka sebetulnya ada karena terbagi dua. Webinar ini ada yang di Zoom dan juga ada yang di YouTube. Itu ada Ibu Nurdiana MPD. Sekarang mungkin lagi di YouTube.
Okay, ya. Bu Zeli, now.
Yes. Yes, Bu Kurnia. Halo. Ya, Bu Kurnia.
Okay, Bu Zeli, can you hear me?
Yes. Yes, I can hear you. Okay, I think Bu Kurnia is still having problem with the connections and the network bandwidth is now low, it's very low.
Thank you so much.
Okay, yes.
Thank you. Let me close, right? Thank
Yes.
you so much again and again.
Oh, yes. We also thank you, Bu Kurnia, and we also have another members of this team. We also have Ibu Cut Raudatul Miski. Hello, Bu Cut. Thank you so much, Bu Cut, for helping us today. Bu Cut. And beside Bu Cut, we also have Ibu Harum Natasha. Hello, Bu Harum. Hello, Ibu Harum Natasha. Okay, and other member of this webinar or the team of this community service, we also have Ibu Mainar Fitri. Joining us today.
No problem. We thank you.
Okay, Bu Cut, thank you so much, Bu Cut. Bagaimana Bu Aisyah? Kita cukupkan sampai di sini pengabdian hari ini.
Yes, thank you for all of the participants and for all of the keynote speaker.
Okay, thank you so much all. Bagi yang mau live sudah mulai ya.
We can turn off the live YouTube right now, Ma'am Zen.
Thank you so much.